Hi, guys. Welcome back to another episode regarding narcissism and toxic people. Whoever that might be in your life, a relationship, love interest, husband, wife, brother, sister, boss. It could be anybody, literally. But I want to talk about hoovering. And I think I touched on this before, but I think hoovering and breadcrumbing to me kind of goes hand in hand. Like they throw you a little breadcrumb, to, you know, give you the sense that, oh, he loves me. Oh, she loves me, just to pull you back in. And you know how they pull you back in? With the good old vacuum cleaner, the Hoover. They suck you back in with the Hoover. And, it's just a vicious cycle. That's exactly what it is. To me, it's just really a cruel game. It's a really cruel game to play with somebody. I said it once, I'll say it a million times. You don't play with somebody's heart, you don't play with somebody's emotions, somebody's mind. Like, you just don't do that. It's inhumane and it's hateful, it's cruel because they know what they're doing. And the fact that somebody knows that they're bringing you to your knees um, at times, and just have you at your lowest point. You can't eat, you can't sleep. But then they throw you a breadcrumb, let's go to lunch. Okay. They're still with their little attitude, but you can tell they're trying, but it's like taking everything they have. It's like they're gritting their teeth just to sit and have a conversation with you. What I don't understand is, if things are so great, you know, um, on the other side of the fence, they think the grass is greener. If it's so great, which evidently it's not, otherwise they wouldn't be trying to hoover you back in. But like most people, they want to have their cake and eat it too. I mean, who doesn't? Who wouldn't like to have the best of both worlds? You know, you got a good thing over here on this side, and you're not meeting the narcissist or toxic person's needs. So somebody else is meeting their needs, or as they say, their needs aren't being met. They're miserable. They're just alone and frustrated and overwhelmed, and they can't even think straight. Yeah, I think that the overwhelmed part has a lot to do with living a double life. I could be wrong. There's nothing worse than knowing, you know that you know that you know that you know. You know something's not right. You don't have, the exact proof. If you hired a private investigator, to follow your spouse around, to see where they're going, to see who they're with or meeting up with or whatever, you know, you're never really going to know unless you yourself happens to catch them, or they, most of the time they give themselves away, because sometimes they just in talking in a conversation, in their words salad conversation that you get from them, they kind of admit certain things. But we're going to talk about that in another video. But the hoovering part is just really, it's just a game of push and pull, push and pull, push and pull. It's like playing tug of war, You're pulling, you're winning, then you're getting pulled under because you're losing. And it's just a back and forth game. It's exhausting. You get mental blisters, spiritual blisters, like you would in a tug of war. And it just wears you down. It wears down your spirit, your mind. And they're doing this intentionally. They're doing this to tire you out, to exhaust you, to get you to just give in and just say, okay, I can't win. Just, you know what? Let's just get back together. You know, let's just forget about all the past that we never dealt with, that we never. it was never discussed. We never sat down and had that conversation about, why did this happen? What can we do to avoid this from happening in the future? What are you willing to bring to the table? If this is something that you're serious about, you truly do love me, you really do want this to work this time, what are you willing to do? Because 9 times out of 10, and I like to use that term a lot because it really is 9 times out of 10, you're doing all the work. They're sitting back saying, oh, well, I need this, and you did this, and I'm the victim. And, they got you just such in that fog that, you're like, I'm just tired. I'm tired in my mind. I'm tired in my body. I'm tired in my spirit. Like, they're still avoiding the accountability conversation. They're still avoiding why you're in the position you're in, why you're going through what you're going through. Okay? We all have to own our part because it takes two, right? They say there's his part, her part, and then the truth. And own your crap, own your crap, apologize, be the best person you could be, but don't always be the person who is like, okay, I have to accept the apology that I'm never going to get. I have to try to figure out, is our love strong enough that we can keep going with this mentality, the toxic mentality? I think not. I just couldn't do it personally. And one way to avoid the hoovering and filling, because we got the trauma bond going on. That trauma bond is strong, and it keeps you feeling guilty. It keeps you feeling paranoid. You have knots in your stomach. They're saying you said things. They're saying they didn't do things, and they did. And it's just the whole back and forth, and you're like, wait, did I do that? Wait, did I say that? Well, maybe I was being a little harsh, or maybe I was being dramatic. No, you weren't. You weren't. We're all doing the best we can, right? With what we have. And they're not doing anything. They're not doing any of the footwork. You're doing all the footwork. They're sitting back like, okay, when are you going to give in? Okay, because we can't change the past. They want to move forward. They don't want to talk about the past. We don't live there. I'm not looking back. I'm just trying to move forward. Right. But every day that you continue to do what you were doing a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, and you're still doing X, Y, and Z, maybe not this anymore, maybe something new, maybe not as bad, but something else is worse. They're trying to get you to say, let's just make it work. Okay, I won't talk about anything that happened. I won't talk about the lies. I won't talk about, catching you in lies. I won't talk about where you were for 10 hours. We won't talk about any of that. We'll just move forward. That's what they want. But you have to love yourself enough. Love yourself more. Don't let them hoover you back. Don't. You're going to hate yourself. I promise you're going to hate yourself. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, you guys. It's really not. If you give in, and I don't know, every circumstance, every situation's different. So your situation, only how long it's been going on or what's been going on. Right? But that it's wrong. It's toxic because you're not healthy mentally, physically. That right there, you don't need to know or try to figure out anything else. Look in the mirror. Look at how you look. How are you eating? How's your sleep? What's your mood like? How are you around other people? What do you have to give? You're pouring from an empty cup, aren't you? Don't let them hoover you back in. You have to come before them. You have to be more important, your happiness, than theirs. Please. We all have to practice what we Another thing that they try to do to weaken you, you know, to wear on the weak spots, because they've already got those weak spots. They're black and blue. Those weak spots are black and blue, and they're making new spots. Um, they won't answer your call or your text in a timely manner, but they will call you 50 times in a row, 50 times back to back, texting you, why aren't you answering the phone? Where are you? But they won't answer your call or your text. And how dare you say, well, why didn't you answer my call or my text? Oh my God, don't you know that I'm busy? Don't you know I got this going on and that going on and this report and that report and I have to do this and do. They're counting on your history. She always gives in. If they do call you back to back and they just keep doing it, and the sound of the phone, their name pops up, change their name in your phone. Like, change their name to something else, because if you're in the trauma bond and their name pops up, your heart beats faster, you get a sick feeling in your stomach, and you know what's about to happen. What is going to take place in this call? You're praying, please God, please protect me. Please don't let him or her get the best of me. Please protect my heart and my mind. And you have to block them. Block them for 2 or 3 hours, but change their name in your phone and don't let them hoover you back in. Please, for God's sake. You're worth more. They're trying to hoover you back in because they're getting scared. You're ignoring them. You don't usually ignore them. You know what you do? Do things out of character. Do things that you wouldn't normally do. They're like, she loves me too much. He loves me too much. He's eventually going to break and answer the phone. She's eventually going to break and answer the phone. That one text I send, don't read their text messages. It's so hard to not read their messages because you want to know what state of mind they're in. You want to know, are they around the corner? You know, so you're like, should I, to protect myself? Or no, protect yourself in the moment. You know, we're living in the moment. Live in the moment. Protect yourself. Change their name. Don't answer the phone. Turn your volume down. And don't let them hoover you back. So you got that down. You're changing their name to King Supers. Diet Coke. You know, anything, because their name is a trigger. Their name, I don't care, it's a trigger. You're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, why are they calling me? You know, I'm walking on eggshells and I'm not even in the same house. Like, how does that happen? It's a trauma bond. A trauma bond is a biatch, and we need to get out of the trauma bond. But unplug the Hoover, okay? Unplug them. Don't let them hoover you. Show them you have the power. You're calling the shots now. You got this. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And let me know what you think.